Well, it's Friday. Everybody's getting ready to duck out for the weekend. I hope you are too, and I hope you're planning on heading to Friday Night Magic tonight. But wait, Brody's got some pre-weekend effects for you folks. We're going to begin this Friday with the bottom 10 reserve list cards that no one cares about video on the stack in anticipation for the top 10 that's coming up on Sunday this weekend. Welcome back, folks. It's Brody. I'd like to give a special shout out to all the Freetreons watching, those of you tuning in around the world, and to everybody tuning in on the juice. The juice is in the house, and the house is in the juice. The bottom 10 reserve list cards that no one cares about, and the most compelling analysis of what we're buying. We get to talk about some interesting cards this weekend I'm really excited about. Veteran Explorer, and a card that I'm interested to build with in the future, Teferi's Protection. And how do these two cards fit into the reserve list and the bottom end cards no one cares about? Let's get right into the video. But before we do, me and my cousin Jimmy, we have to give a dishonorable mention to this card that came in right at the bottom end of the reserve list last week, Varchilds War Riders. Nobody cares about this card. The first couple cards on our list are some Selesnya cards and a couple of Bone cards, but coming in at number 10 on our list is the Altar of Bone from Ice Age at $9.54 or €7.95. You can get a copy of the Altar of Bone in your collection. 1 green, 1 white, sacrifice a creature to look through your library for a creature card. Put that card into your hand after showing it to all other players. Reshuffle your library afterwards. Well, I'll tell you what, if the Veteran Explorer ends up taking a little bit too much of an adventure onto Brody's property, he's going to end up across the Altar of Bone. When Veteran Explorer dies, each player may search their library for up to 2 basic land cards and put them onto the battlefield. Then each player who searched their library this way shuffles. I can't think of a better candidate to be sacrificed to the Altar of Bone, especially in Legacy. This card looks great, so we're buying it. Which brings us to the next card on our list, number 9, Asmira, the Holy Avenger. For $3.79 or €3.46, you can get a copy of Asmira, the Holy Avenger, into your collection. The 2/3 flyer costs you 1 green, 1 white, and 2. And she says at the end of each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Asmira for each creature put into your graveyard from play that turn. Omens lie in this early harvest fruit. Well, Asmira may not agree with us sacrificing the Veteran Explorer across the Altar of Bone, but she sure does get +1/+1 for it. Maybe she's a vegetarian, or maybe she doesn't eat meat. But that brings us to the next card on our list, the Bone Dancer. Speaking of eating meat off the bone, this card from Weatherlight is awesome. It's $5.92 to get a copy of it into your collection, or €3.95. The Bone Dancer is a black card, a zombie creature type for 2 black and 1 with a 0 mana activation ability that says, put the top creature card from defending player's graveyard into play under your control. Bone Dancer deals no combat damage this turn. Use this ability only if Bone Dancer is attacking and unblocked, and only once each turn. So you can flip the goodies out of your opponent's graveyard onto your side of the battlefield, and if you got a use case for them, either sacrificing them to something like the Altar of Bone or using them with any other cards on Brody Alfonso's bottom 10 reserve list card that no one cares about, the Bone Dancer is right up there on that list. So we're buying it. Which brings us to the next card on our list. The Breathstealer's Crypt from Visions. For $14.70 or €7.36, you can get a copy of the Breathstealer's Crypt in your collection. It costs 1 black and 1 blue and 2 other for this enchantment from the Visions block. Far too many soldiers have died in their beds. Tiam Tor. It says, whenever any player draws a card, he or she reveals that card. If the card is a creature card, that player pays 3 life or discards the card. This is a universal effect that's really powerful. The first part in itself is super powerful because you get to see what everybody at the table is drawing, although they do get to see what's in your hand. But if you're hiding cards under something like a Gussa Scepter, that's not a problem for Brody Alfonso. Let's look at the second part of this card too. It's almost overpowered. If you could have cards like, let's take a look at Yasharn for a second. This card almost gets us there. There have been cards printed like Yasharn and Jubilation Angel that prevent players from paying life, but they're not quite good enough for what we need to work with Breathstealer's Crypt. But if there ever is a card that outright prevents players from paying life, then this card, Breathstealer's Crypt, is going to go up in value. The simple fact that if they draw a creature card they couldn't pay life for it and would have to discard it leaves a little bit to the imagination with the Breathstealer's Crypt, and that's why it's on the bottom end of the reserve list where no one cares about it. So we're buying it. Which brings us to the next card on our list. Disclaimer, disclaimer, with this card, Cleansing from the Dark. It costs $19.84 to get a copy of this into your collection, or €21.64. For 3 white mana, the sorcery that says, all land in play is destroyed. Players may prevent cleansing from destroying specific lands by paying 1 life for each land they wish to protect. Effects that prevent this loss of life may not be used to counter this ability. So again, this doesn't quite work as well as we would with a card like Yasharn or even Jubilation Angel that would prevent our opponents from paying life. If there ever is a card that prevents players from paying life into cleansing, this is a 3 mana board wipe for lands. We can also do other things with cleansing, like playing a copy of Children of Corliss and just sacrificing them to gain back all the life we paid, and seeing how much life our opponents are willing to pay before casting a copy of Armageddon. This card is awesome, and it's way down at the bottom end of the reserve list that no one cares about it, so we're buying it. Which brings us to the next card on our list, and I'm excited to talk about this card because we get to talk about phasing, which also works with cleansing. Teferi's Protection would also work with cleansing, by the way. But the next card on our list is none other than Apocalypse from Tempest. $9.40 will give you a copy of Apocalypse for the collection, or €8.17. For 3 red mana and 2, this sorcery says, remove all permanents from the game and discard your hand. Well, if this card isn't the ultimate board wipe, I would want to build around this with a card like Teferi's Protection. Can you imagine just not being there when the Apocalypse is cast and all the permanents are destroyed on the battlefield, then you phase in like nothing happened? That seems like a super powerful effect that I'd like to play. Nobody's ready for the Apocalypse, but Brody is, so we're buying it. Which brings us to this card right here, Boris Devilboon from Legends. He's a little bit expensive. He's coming in at $54.82 to get him into your collection, or €57.50. For 1 black, 1 red, and 3, you can get a 2/2 legend that has an ability, a black, red, and 2, tap him to put a minor demon token into play. This works well with Liliana's Contract, the enchantment that says, when Liliana's Contract enters the battlefield, if you control 4 or more demons with different names, you win the game. So those minor demon tokens, they'll get you that 4th demon token name that you need to win the game with Liliana's Contract, or you can sacrifice one of them on the altar of bone to go looking for a better creature. He's also a really cool meme card. He doesn't have too much of a beard going on, so that's why he's probably not higher on our list of Brody Alfonso's bottom 10 reserve list cards that no one cares about. Which brings us to the number 2 card on our list this week. Is a Hoser card. An-Zerrin Runes from Homelands is only $3, or €2.78 to get a copy of this into your collection. 2 red and 2 for an enchantment that reads, choose a creature type. Creatures of that type do not untap during their controller's next untap phase. The An-Zerrin have served me well ever since I first killed them. Baron Sengir. Here's a control card in red that's really reasonable at $3. It's way down at the bottom end of the reserve list that no one cares about, so we're buying it. Which brings us to this card is a very strong number 2 on our list this week, Black Carriage from Homelands. It'll cost you $1.42 to get it into your collection, or €1.86. Why do we like this card so much? It costs 5 mana, 2 black and 3 for a 4/4 with trample that doesn't untap during your upkeep phase. Well, it's also got this ability that says 0, sacrifice a creature to untap Black Carriage. Use this ability only during your upkeep. The Baron's drivers are also driven. Well, when the Baron Zenger is traveling inside of the Black Carriage, he's more than likely burning with anger. This enchant creature that says enchanted creature has tap. This creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. So if you put this on the Black Carriage, you can tap it to deal 4 damage to any target, and then during your upkeep, you can sacrifice a creature to untap it and do it again. But that doesn't seem that good, except that you can do this over and over and over again as many times as you'd like. This card seems awesome. If the Bone Dancer is stealing your opponent's creatures to sacrifice to the untap ability of Black Carriage, or you're making a lot of tokens in a token deck, the Black Carriage is an all-star when you combine it with Burning Anger. But this card's way down at the bottom end of the reserve list where no one cares about Black Carriage. But we do, so we're buying it. I want to take this opportunity to give a shout out to those of you watching in merry old England, in the Sherwood Forest, and the Earl of Drummer. We appreciate your comments in the comments section below, and to all the Freetreons who are watching and tuning in on the channel. Here it is, you've waited for it, at the bottom of the list, AnAba Spirit Crafter from Homelands. Yeah, another Homelands card, I know, and a creature. I'm so happy there's a creature in the number 1 spot again this week. Extreme value for $3.34 or €2.98. 2 red and 2 for a 1/3 Minotaur, or actually a 2/3 Minotaur, because the AnAba Spirit Crafter is a lord which says all Minotaurs get +1/0. This is one of the only lords for Minotaur, and Minotaurs aren't going anywhere. They've been printed in Magic the Gathering since the very beginning. The AnAba Spirit Crafter is a lot of fun, and it deserves a home in a deck at Brody Alphonso's, so we're buying it. And if you like this video and you want to see more videos, because each and every one of you, 83 subscribers, keep tuning in and coming back and checking out the channel, it's only because you guys keep coming back that I get to keep bringing you these videos. A shout out to the Freetreons, Smash Jackson, Garen Jotter, Dusty Cully, Murray Cooper, Tyler Harrison, Tyler Friesen, Coin Pomeroy, Kyle Mears, and the MTG Moxman, who will be coming at you this weekend from an entirely different time zone, giving you the top 10 reserve list cards selling throughout the week. And after that, we're going to be checking out the live stream. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and hitting the comments section down below. And thanks again for all of you tuning in. It's Friday night. I hope you're all on your way to F&M. It's Brody. It's June the 3rd. We'll talk to you again real soon.